So a lot of people ask me to shoot these life in the day so they can see what I'm doing, but I have two problems. One, my life is pretty boring, okay? I see a lot of these life in the day of people. They're jet skiing in the middle of the day. They're jumping from an airplane. They're going to Bali. They're doing all this kind of stuff in the middle of the day in business, right? I don't know how to do that, especially when you're trying to build a $1 billion real estate fund, when you're trying to structure deals, solve complex problems, go behind closed doors, do things that other people are not willing to do in terms of negotiation and structuring deals. You don't have time for that. So that's the first problem. Second problem I have, a lot of these meetings, like I just got out of a meeting with a engineering firm. So they basically did the full designing of Dubai police, pretty much all of the police stations, Dubai police parking, and some of the major downtown facilities, and pretty much all of the JVC villas, right? If you guys know Jumeirah Village Circle. So when you're meeting with that engineering firm, with their board members, and you're actually interviewing them, if you want to use them as your engineering and architect consultants for your next project, our next development in Majan, it's weird to get a camera in there. People look at you weird. So all of my meetings, so that's the second problem. It's highly confidential. These people don't want to be on camera. And these are things you're talking about. Really, I cannot show anything that I'm talking about. But still, we'll attempt today to show some glimpse of what we're up to. So we finished this meeting. We're going to the next one. And that reminds me, guys, it really depends what you're trying to build. Again, I'm not dissing any of the entrepreneurs or brothers who are jet skiing in the middle of the day. If you're trying to build a business that gives you constant $10,000 a month income, yes, maybe you can do that. But if you're trying to build a business like Jeff Bezos, Muslim version of an Amazon, where you don't sell any haram products, where there's no haram ads, and bring a Muslim e-commerce that's a giant behemoth that actually competes with the likes of Amazon and Alibaba. The guy worked 16, 18 hours a day to make sure there were no customer complaints. He had an obsessive disorder, and that was with customer satisfaction. So in order to do that, he did not take any breaks. He did not take any vacations. Same with Stephen Schwarzman, Blackstone, when it comes to real estate fund. All these guys worked really hard. So if we want to bring anything quality, because it's a bad reputation sometimes. I don't know if you guys face that. If it's a Desi business or if it's a Muslim business, sometimes if it's an Arab business, our own people sometimes expect, the quality will be low. The service won't be there. And sometimes it's our fault. It's the entrepreneur's fault because we take that Muslim card and we use it. Habibi, inshallah, bismillah, Muslims, let's do it. We're not providing the value they're expecting. So in order to provide that value, there's literally got to be obsessive. You got to be obsessive like Tariq bin Ziyad was with Andalus. Right? You got to be obsessive like Sultan Mehmet was with Constantinople. So if you're not obsessive like that, you cannot do mega conquests. But inshallah, follow along with us and we'll try to show you what we're up to, inshallah. So essentially, Shihab, how we structured these deals, we structured it similar way, all the development investment deals. The investors would partner up with us in the development itself, because we're not taking any bank loans. So usually the developers would put 20 to 30% of their own money. The rest of the 70, 80% of the project, they'll get it from the bank, right? But instead of us doing that, we're getting equity from the investors. So we're equity financing it instead of debt financing it. So for example, this Majan project, to answer your question, the investors are partnering up with us at 1,030 dirham per square foot, okay? So minimum investment ticket size is 250K USD. But if it's friends and family coming from other influencer partners that we're partnering up with, we reduce it to 100K USD. But whatever that comes up to in square footage, they're getting it at 1,030 dirham per square foot. In Majan right now, all the off plans that are being launched as of last week, and people can go to dxbinteract.com to verify what I'm saying. If they put transaction history, Majan, they'll see the off plans last week were launched at 1,700 dirham per square foot today, like last week. But they're partnering up with us at 1,030 dirham per square foot. And with the projection of the area, because Majan is adjacent to Al Barari community, which is a prime luxury community. There's a third metro line. Dubai they started construction, the government, in January of this year, the blue line. So that's going to connect Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road to the rest of the metro line. So it's going to cut right through Majan. So there's going to be a train station right there. And it's closer to Global Village, IMG Adventure, the prime area. And most importantly, it's 3 minutes walk to the masjid, the plot that we got. And it's a beautiful new constructed masjid. So there's a lot of growth opportunity in Dubai in general, in macro and micro regions in Majan. So you're coming in at 1,030 dirham per square foot right now. Right now, plots are selling for 1,700 dirham per square foot. So there's a 70% room already. And it's estimated to go up even more. But we're telling our investors, let's say it doesn't go up. Let's say it doesn't even stay at 1,700 dirham per square foot, even though we're highly confident it will go up. But you are still, even if if the market drops 20% in 2 years, we'll still be able to sell for roughly 1,500 dirham per square foot. So you're still making about 50% a year. So that's how we structured the deal. That's why it took us 8 months to get this second deal, because we have very strong underwriting criteria and everything has to check mark. And one of those things is the risk mitigation. We keep a big margin between what you are getting in at as partner and how much we can potentially sell it for.
So if an investor wants to hold his share,
yes,
how is the procedure over there? Like, are they allowed to hold their shares?
Yeah, very, very intelligent question. That's why I smile, man. Alhamdulillah. You see, assets are actually made when you hold it. But this structure that we're doing, it's built to sell. It's not built to last. So the model here is we're exiting. There is a clear-cut exit model. So we're exiting in max 2.5 years. So no. The way it's being structured, no. But when we launch the off plans, inshallah, which we will launch in a year maximum, probably 8 to 10 months. That's what we're targeting. Investors that invest with us in the project right now as a partner, they get discount on the off-plan launch as well. Because the off-plan will be already discounted, but they get a further discount as an investor. And if they invest again at that point on the off-plan, that's when they get the investment money back in 2.5 years. But at that dollar amount, they're getting an apartment as well. So it's going to be a win-win situation, inshallah.
And then are you going to be working exclusively with certain companies, various certain companies to sell, or?
Yes. I like your questions, brother. It's very good, man. This is the first time, by the way, I'm hanging out with Shihab, and he's asking some phenomenal questions, mashallah. Yeah, so that's what we're interviewing. So that's what actually today's day is about. So today's a Tuesday. Usually I try to keep Tuesdays and Thursdays as my meeting days. So my first meeting was at 8:30 a.m. Second one is at 10 a.m. Third one, subhanAllah, we're running late. It's 11:30 a.m. It's exactly 11:30 right now. I think we're 5-6 minutes away. So all day, bam, bam, bam meetings. So basically, there are 3 vendors that I'm interviewing and multiple of them. One is architect and engineering consultant. One is the marketing company. And one is a legal team. So we already have those 3, but I'm interviewing more to kind of finalize and make a strong, bulletproof team, inshallah. So it's like a pit bull team, inshallah. But yes, to answer your question, brother, we're actively interviewing. So if anybody wants to, they can, I don't know where this video is going, but they can comment below or DM me and we can set up an interview, inshallah, and we go from there.
I have one more question I forgot. Why don't you partner up with other real estate funds to raise funds or, get investors involved?
Yes, we're open to it. We're absolutely open to it, but because our goal is clear. And that's where the values and principles have to be aligned. Our goal is clear in the sense that we want to be the first $1 billion Muslim real estate fund. When I say Muslim, I mean riba free. No interest, no leverage, no qarar, no forms of haram when it comes to financial dealings. So anybody who's also aligned with those values and principles and non-negotiables, definitely. We're always looking for partners. Because this one, I have already put in my money as deposit, close to 20% in the project. So we're going to proceed with the deal one way or the other, inshallah. Allah will help us. But it will be only through cash and equity financing. And that's how, and when I say 1 billion, when I used to say it 3-4 years ago, I feel like, oh my God, if that happens, this is it. Now I feel like it's so small, it's such a small goal. But of course we have to climb one step before we climb the second one. Otherwise we're going to fall and slip. But the largest real estate fund, Blackstone, $1.2 trillion. 1.2 trillion, bro. So their model is for every $1 they raise from their investors, they borrow another 3. So out of that $1.2 trillion, roughly, they have like, 200 billion is investors' money. Actually more, 300 billion is investors' money. And the rest, the 900 billion is from loans, right? But still, they were able to raise 300 billion, right? So when we say 1 billion, it's a very small goal. We're 25% of the world population, and so inshallah, we want to facilitate. I know a lot of people will be saying, well, bro, your ticket size is 250K, 100K, how are you going to invest? But it's just due to, it's regulations, so my hands are tied. But inshallah, we're going to come up with solutions where people can invest with very little money, inshallah. But it will take time. We need to do more projects. We need support so we can get to that point, inshallah.
So here's another question to it. Worst case scenario. So I'm just asking a worst case scenario. Let's say the value of the place, of the property, doesn't increase, or it's just, or it lowers down. Are you going to switch it to a rent mode? Like, can they get a rent split?
I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
How are you coming up with these questions?
Because I've been involved into real estate.
Mashallah, brother. Because these are, before I even answer, I want to praise you again, man. Alhamdulillah. Because these are high level questions, man. How old are you again, Shihab?
19.
For a 19-year-old to ask these real estate questions, and no offense to you, if you get on a call with me, because all questions are great questions. But a lot of the times I see there's no savviness in questions, and which is no problem. Maybe you're a physician and your expertise is in that. You don't have to be an expert in real estate. But, alhamdulillah, at least, your questions are great, man. So yeah, you asked it and you answered it. So basically, if it's significantly low, as long as we're meeting our threshold of 50%, which inshallah, bro, inshallah, unless there's a black swan event like COVID or something, even then, basically the project will be delayed. But we know after every black swan event, we saw the spike that happened, but just the project will get delayed. But inshallah, that doesn't happen because we're going to make at least 50% regardless because of that much margin that we have. Because right now they're selling for 1,700 dirham and you're coming in at roughly 1,000. Plus, if for whatever reason that happens, we're going to do a vote of confidence. Basically, we're going to ask the investors, hey, we are thinking of just holding it and riding the wave and rent out all the units. You're going to get the cash flow income. You're already, coming in at only 1,000 dirham per square foot. And let's say the market drops to 1,200 dirham, which if that happens, bro, honestly, real estate is going to be the last thing we're concerned about. If the market drops like that, when I say market, real estate market, when Trump announced the tariffs, the stock market dropped 20 to 30% in one day, in the same day, right? But the real estate market in the US did not even flinch, or globally did not flinch. So real estate reacts very slowly to everything. So for real estate to drop 20, 30% like that, like something, Allah forbid, something so bad happened that the real estate investment will be the last thing we're worried about at that point, right? But yes, so that's always an option. And that's one of the main reasons I love real estate, because it's a tangible asset. And if you don't meet your target sale price, even on smaller deals, let's say you want to fix and flip, you don't meet your target and the market just flipped on you like that, the local market, you can always rent out, ride the wave and wait. And actually, inshallah, you're going to make a lot more if you wait out. So absolutely, man.
So you're going to leave now. You're going to go for the meeting now.
Yes, I'm going to go to the meeting. So I don't know where I'm at. We just, Nurbay here, mashallah. He's just following the maps and he's just taking me from one location to another. But I'm here somewhere and I'm going to get on this is a meeting with an attorney. And I'm going to join you guys. The plan was for Shihab to follow me to these offices. But these guys texted, I asked them. It's like, wallahi, yani, wouldn't feel comfortable, Sam. I was like, I appreciate and respect this. So you guys will stay here and I'll come back, inshallah. So, alhamdulillah, this meeting was with a law firm and we just signed a letter of engagement and officially retained them as our law firm for all our business activities here, starting with development, the aluminum factory and everything else we're going to do. So I'll tell you a little bit about the attorney. So his name is Mr. Yusuf Al-Sahlawi. So he was the main prosecutor for UAE's Ministry of Justice from 1988 to 1997. Then he was the executive director for Dubai Customs for another 10 years. Now he has this private practice. He is a UAE national and mashallah, very high up there. So we hired his team to represent us in everything that we do in the UAE. And the main reason I'm mentioning this, guys, because the way to scale in any business is anything you have to be great at it, undeniably great. But everything else, you cannot be great at many things. You'll be great at your niche. Everything else, you cannot compromise. You have to hire tens. So we are hiring an attorney who's not only a 10, but has complete grip over everything in the UAE when it comes to legal. So I'm very excited. Just signed the LOE. We have been talking for quite some time. They don't take every client that walk into their door. You have to be a special client for them to be interested to work with. That's for another day, how we got them to work with us, alhamdulillah. We're very excited. This is done now, a big chapter. Now, the only two other things I need to finalize is the consultant for engineering and architects, inshallah. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we just got out of the fourth meeting of the day. Basically, this one was with another design and engineering consultant firm. It did not go as expected because the pricing is very high. And that's the things about negotiation. One of the biggest thing about negotiation, you have to have leverage. And one form of leverage is very simple. You have to have pricing from other competitors, other farms, other vendors, other service providers. So you know exactly, and you're ready to walk away without feeling any pressure. But the key here is that's there. The key here is you cannot be a fisherman. You have to be a hunter. What do I mean by that? So a fisherman basically casts their rod, put on some, baits and hopes and wishes for the best, for something to come, something to be caught, then they will eat. But a hunter actually dives deep in the ocean and takes it upon themselves after, the permission of Allah to actually find what they have set out for. So it's very important in deal making and in anything in life. You cannot just wait, for things to come to you. You have to actively seek them. And this is why I'm doing all these meetings, to go out and actively wait, push it. There are some meetings actually I'm doing just to push it. Why is it taking so long? Let's meet. It will be literally a 5-minute meeting. I go show them my face because I've already done it on the phone. I've done it on text messages. My team has done it. It's not moving. We need to move it. So you have to be a hunter, proactively do things, inshallah. Just approving the final payment of the machinery for our aluminum factory from China. They've sent us all the testing videos and everything. Everything's looking phenomenal. Once I approve this payment, they're going to ship it within 21 to 25 calendar days, working days. It will be here. So inshallah, we're on our deadline. We're looking to launch our aluminum factory in June. So this will go, very much alignment with the development we're doing. The Dubai South is about to start, the new development coming up, and all the relationships I'm building. So, reputation is your common denominator, right? If you have that, all the businesses that you build, you can call it personal brand, reputation, whatever you call it, it's the same thing. Once you have that, all the businesses you launch supports each other because the ecosystem supports you. All your clients, all your customers, all your vendors, partners, everybody's supporting you. So alhamdulillah, in all the meetings, I mentioned, hey, need your blessings. We're doing this, and everybody was very supportive. Even with the last meeting where we're not going to possibly go with his consultant firm, but he's open to using our aluminum factory, at least getting the quotation and doing. So just to make him happy, I might get a small service from him as well. And that's business. So every game, every sports has an admission fee. So for the game of entrepreneurship, the admission fee is pain. And it's not optional. It's mandatory. You're going to go through emotional pain. You're going to go through physical pain. You're going to go through all sorts of pain. And we only see the stories of glitters and glams after they have gone through the pain. And the only people who don't quit while they're going through the pain, we only know their stories. But for every one of those stories, I can promise you guys, there's probably 10,000 of stories of people who could not endure the pain. They gave up. So don't be fooled when you see a flashy life, meeting this guy, meeting that guy, having fancy lunch, fancy dinner. This is just show. This is only on the surface. But inside, it's like that duck. There's chaos inside, swimming, but on top of the water, you see the duck come. That's part and parcel of being an entrepreneurship. You have to pay the admission fee, which is pain.